Hi, and welcome to the 50th episode of the Bookkeepers podcast. I'm Zoe Whitman, I'm in Bristol, and I'm joined by Jo Wood in Kent. Hi, Jo, how are you?
Hi, Zoe. Yeah, I'm good. I can't believe it's our 50th episode. How have we got here? It feels like we only just recently started. We do
I
like to talk,
know.
though.
We do like to talk. I was thinking we need some kind of little celebration, or like we need some clever editing person who can make some like party sounds or something in the background. We'll have to work on our editing, but we'll make that happen.
Yeah.
So today we're really excited to be joined by JoJo Graham. JoJo is a business expert and she helps small business owners to get in control of their business through simplification strategies. But before we have a chat with JoJo, I just thought I'd tell you a bit about how you can connect with us. So we support bookkeepers who want to start and grow a bookkeeping practice. We run coaching programs for bookkeepers who want to do just that. The best way to find out about what we do is to head to our website, sixfigurebookkeeper.com, and from there you can get a prospectus of our courses, and you can also click on the link to join our Facebook group, which is called the Six Figure Bookkeepers Club. So, JoJo, lovely to see you today. How are you doing?
Yes, I am good as we possibly can be in these times. Today is my day off mumming, so it's like I squeeze all of my calls in and all of my work in at the end of the week, so it's all go. But yeah, it's good. We're in the second month of the year already. I can imagine you guys have had a really busy few weeks with the tax returns and stuff, but yeah, it's good, doing good.
Oh, excellent. So, Jojo, I brought you on, invited you on because I haven't been in your world for a very long time and watched you from afar. And then I think, was it 2019 that you did your live event, or was it?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Was it the big one? I think that was in 2018.
Or was it St. Catherine's Dock? Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
2018.
Yeah, and that's where I met Shah, Zoe, who we've been talking about, because Zoe's been on Clubhouse, and I was like, I know Shah, because that's how I met her at your event. Because
wow.
Shah came along and she was amazing there as well. So I've been following you, and at Christmas time I bought you've got the simple content card decks, which I bought. Well, I bought 15, and then I had to buy more because I had extra clients. So I had to split up my clients in different directions of who was going to get the content card packs. But they were brilliant. I ended up with none for myself. I need to buy one for myself now.
No, yeah, definitely. They're so useful.
They are so useful. So and I love your journey, because you're so young and you've got Noah, and you just inspire me so much, that how you run such a successful business from home with a small child at home as well. And so just tell us about your journey to where you are now.
Yes. Okay. So my background's actually in banking. So when I first kind of was told by my mum, like when I was really young, you need to go and get yourself a Saturday job, I thought, right, okay, what can I do that would be something that I could climb the ladder to success? And that for me was banking. So I went for this Saturday job, got it when I was 16, before I'd even got my GCSE. So I don't know how I kind of blagged it, but I did. And for me, success has always been kind of something that I've strived for. And I thought that that's some way that I could make loads of money. I can work my way up and maybe one day be a bank manager somewhere. So I got that job as a Saturday girl, which soon turned into a part-time job while I was studying business management in university. Graduated uni, and ironically, I didn't know how to actually start a business, even though I just got myself a business management degree. So I thought, right, okay, I don't know how to start a business, even with all this knowledge. The easy thing for me to do would just be to fall into my bank job full time. So that's what I did. At the time, I lived in West Wales. So I don't know if you can hear the Welsh twang in my accent. So I was living in West Wales, but I moved to Cardiff. So I thought there would be more opportunities there. Got some promotions very, very quickly, and I thought, right, okay, this is it. This, like, I'm on track. I can do this. And it wasn't until 2014. So this was, gosh, 6-7 years ago now, which feels like yesterday, that I went for a promotion and I didn't get the promotion. And it was one of those things where I just thought, well, why am I allowing somebody else to dictate to me how much I'm worth, you know, to get this pay rise that I so badly wanted, and just the recognition. And everyone thought that I would get the job because I was quite good at what I did. I was always in like the top 3 for the whole of Wales in my position. And it was when I just decided that enough was enough. Like, I wasn't happy. I was living for the weekends, and I just needed something different. So that's when I started looking at different options, and I got into a kind of side hustle alongside the bank. And as soon as I got into that side hustle, my entrepreneurial kind of bone kicked in, and that was it. I thought, right, this is my ticket out of the bank. So it was the end of 2014 that I made the decision, basically, that I was going to leave the bank after 8.5 years and pursue this entrepreneurial journey and go into business. So I before I tell you about when I quit my job, I decided to actually quit my job because at the end of that year I had a car crash. And in that car crash, the car crash happened because that evening I was having a meal with my sisters, and I said to them, and I don't know if any of your listeners believe in the law of attraction, or if you guys do, I think you would. I said to my sisters at the meal, I want to get rid of my car, I want to quit my job, and I just want to start again. So on the way home from that meal, I crashed my car. So I thought, right, okay, I need to take that as a sign. The car's gone. I asked for that. What else did I ask for? I asked to quit my job. So within a couple of days of that happening, because my car was a complete write-off, I handed my notice in for my job way before I was financially ready. And that's not something that I ever recommend anybody do, because it was quite risky. But at the time I didn't have Noah. I didn't have big, I had my apartment to pay for and things like that, but nothing too big. And I just thought to myself, what's the worst that's going to happen? If this business doesn't work out, then I'll just get another job. So I quit my job. I moved to London, and I just started building my business in London and networking, and very quickly started building up this network and putting on events and things. And then that's when I found out I was pregnant with Noah. So he just popped into the picture. It wasn't expected, but it was one of those things where you just think, well, this is it. I've got someone else that I need to think about now, not just myself. And he was a big motivation for me driving my businesses forward and, really reaching the success that I wanted. So that was in 2015. He was born in 2016, continued building my business and hosting events around London, personal development and entrepreneurial events. And then it wasn't until he was around 8 months old, so this is the end of 2016, that people just started coming to me for business support. And people would say, you should be a coach, you should be a mentor. And I was like, well, no, I don't think I've got it in me. But and I was juggling all the plates as a new mum as well. And then we were putting on an event for 800 entrepreneurs in central London. It was one of the biggest events I put on, and it almost broke me. And because it almost broke me, I just thought, right, okay, I'm not actually happy, and the business that I've currently got isn't serving me. It's not making me feel fulfilled. I need to do something about it. So that's when I hired my first mentor and invested a large sum of money and just went all in with my coaching and mentoring business. And that was the beginning of 2017. And ever since then, it's just grown from strength to strength. The network's grown from strength to strength as well. And that's pretty much the background and the story in a nutshell. So since then, I've been to LA and Marrakesh, gone on different retreats. I've held retreats myself as well, helped hundreds of clients, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. So yeah, that's me.
That's such an amazing journey. And also some of the things that when you've been building a business around your son as well, and I know that a lot of the bookkeepers in our community are working around children of various ages. That's really tough. It's really hard to start a business when you're in that position. How have you juggled that? How have you coped without getting completely burnt out?
I think for me, I don't know any different. I don't know what it's like to build a business without a little one, because I was already an entrepreneur when he was born. And when he did come, I just decided to take the mindset and the approach that it's possible. and I made that decision that I can do it. But what I did was I looked at the pockets of time that I had around him to build my business. So when he was first born, he would have like 2-3 naps in the day, and I would work my business when he was sleeping. Then it went down to 2 naps a day, and then I would do like a discovery call in the first nap and then a client call in the second nap. And then it went down to 1 nap. And then when his nap stopped, I was like, right, okay, I need to put him in nursery. So I decided not to feel guilty about that. It was a decision that I made because I needed to run my business. So maybe that's why I find it so hard now. He, obviously the kids aren't in school at the moment, to have him home, because I'm so not used to not having my time, because I've always kind of managed it. But yeah, it's just looking at the solutions rather than the problems. So, working in the evenings, working in the mornings, if it takes, at the moment, if it takes putting an iPad in front of him just to get half an hour piece, then I do it. So yeah, it's just being resourceful as well.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, and I'm finding with having the older kids at the moment is making decisions about homeschooling and stuff, and I've had to put my business first a lot of the time in front of homeschooling, and I know other parents have decided to put homeschooling before their business, and everyone's got to make a decision what's right for them. And I love that what you said about, you chose not to feel guilty and bad about it. It is a decision that we have to make. You either choose to beat yourself up or you choose not to and just get on with the work. And so I think that's a great motivation. Our community is full of bookkeepers, and as we tend to be, me and Zoe are a little bit different from the norm, but we have to push ourselves to come on these podcasts, and we have to push ourselves to do live videos and everything. It's not doesn't come easy. It didn't start off like, oh, that's what I'm born to do. We've had to work on it, but lots of the bookkeepers lack that confidence, and at the moment there's been a few of them that have really struggled to price what they're worth, or to sell themselves and to get them out, get themselves out there. And I know you do a lot around content creation and stuff, but you seem to manage to get the mindset element in. And I love what you talk about with regards to telling stories. Would you, tell us a little bit about what you say? Because I found that really easy, because then it felt like it wasn't me. I was telling a story onto social media, which made it feel a little bit easier, not so much of a sell.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think when it comes to, if anybody's listening to this who isn't a bookkeeper, like whatever it is that you do, if you're finding it hard to put yourself out there to talk about what it is that you do, you have to shift it from being about you and about serving, and remembering that you are really needed. I literally could not do my books. Like it's not something that I know I could do. Like I've outsourced it ever since the beginning, because it would fry my brain. It fries my brain just logging into HMRC. So it's recognizing that you're needed, you're a key worker, whatever it is that you do, like just to have that as a mindset. And then when you get yourself into that mindset, it's going into a serving place. So what problem does your ideal client have? Every single day when they wake up, they might be a creative person, so they aren't very logical, they're not very good with numbers, but you are. So think about your strengths and their weaknesses. Think about how they feel when they think about their tax bill. Think about how they feel when they even have to put some numbers into a spreadsheet. And when you can really step into the shoes of your ideal client, it will become easy to just speak from your heart almost onto your social media or onto any platform that you market yourself. And when you shift the focus from it being about you, like I'm scared, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to show up, and more so, okay, what do they need to hear from me today? Then it becomes easy. And it might feel, just hearing that, well, no, it couldn't possibly ever feel easy, but I promise you it does feel easy when you shift your mindset and think of it like that.
That's a really good tip. One of the things I found quite helpful at the beginning, because I felt like that too. I didn't really know. I remember thinking, okay, I want to appeal to the creative sector, and I know that they're probably looking at Instagram, but I do something that isn't visual. How do I put that on Instagram? And I got to a point where I was like, well, okay, the same, like, I don't know what to do, it's all, you know, but actually when you pay attention to the questions that people are asking you, you can then go to them and answer it. It's exactly like what you said, like, I feel scared, I don't know what to do. Well, they probably feel scared about something about their finances, so they are scared. What's the question that they're asking right now? Okay, answer that in a loving way, really, like really support them and show them that you're there for them and you have the answer. And that's when you build that connection, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is really as simple as that. It's like, what are those frequently asked questions that they're either asking you, they're asking on their social media, they're asking themselves, or even think about, you know, what are they currently Googling? I love that. I love thinking like that. Like, what is my ideal client Googling today? They're Googling how to make more money. They're Googling how to get more clients. They're Googling, you know, what content does well for social media. So then if you can just think about that, then answer those questions within your content, and then in a creative way as well, where you might be telling those stories, then that's when it's going to really, really work for you.
So when you think about the business that you've built now, what do you do to keep your business simple? Because I think especially when you've got loads of you've got other distractions with children at home and dogs and other halves and everything, it's very important to kind of keep things simple, not overcomplicate things. So what are your top tips for keeping your business streamlined and simple?
It's thinking about putting yourself in that customer journey. So you know, when you go to purchase something, you want a really straightforward process. You have your problem, you know what it is that you need to solve it. You want to just go to that one place, purchase it, have that thing delivered. So it's making those steps as simple and streamlined, and kind of take away as many of those steps as possible, because people's attention spans are very limited at the moment. They get less and less and less. I don't know what the exact number is, like how many seconds before someone gets distracted on social media, but you want to capture their attention, and you don't want to lose them in that process. And I think sometimes when we think about the businesses that we need to run, we feel like we need to have these complicated funnels, we need to have all of these different sequences and systems, when really, actually, you just need to have like 3 things. You need to have your social media platform, you need to have like one place where they need to go, and then that one solution. So I always get my clients to think about that one big problem that their ideal client has. And then the one offer that solves that one problem, and then have one message in the marketing that will guide them and direct them towards that one offer. We don't have to have these value ladders, I think they call them, with lots and lots of different things going on. You know, it's okay and it's good to have more than one offer, more than one solution, depending on where someone is in their you know, in what they need and solving that problem. But you want to just keep it as simple as possible, because a confused mind never buys. So if you're feeling confused and overwhelmed, then your audience will too.
That is a brilliant tip, and I think that we forget that. I think because bookkeepers can do so many things, and just knowing that there are so many different services that we could offer to so many different people, it becomes, if you're particularly for the bookkeepers who are joining us and are starting their practices now, and they're like, right, I'm looking for my first handful of clients, how do I target them? Because there are just so many opportunities. There are so many people they could target with so many different things. It's really hard. And Joe and I talk a lot about finding your ideal client, working out where your sort of networks cross over and your interests and things, so that you can because once you've got an idea of who that niche is that you'd really like to serve, it doesn't mean you can't work with other people too, but it helps you to go, okay, well, what's their problem, what's their pain point right now, and what's my solution for those people? What is that really the right solution for me to be selling? Is that profitable? Is that something I can really give my all to make it a really good service that people shout about and people recommend all the time? If you know those people, you know what your solution is, you know what the price of it is, it's really easy to start getting very targeted marketing out there to people, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I always say, just because you can, it doesn't mean that you should. You know, I'm sure that a lot of the bookkeepers are great at baking, but they wouldn't go selling cakes. You know, so it's thinking about, okay, what is it that I really enjoy? And what is it that I want to niche down into? And they're going to create much better results if they think like that, than rather than going after everything. I always say that if you try and catch 2 rabbits, you end up catching none. You're better just having that laser focus on that one rabbit.
I love that. It's so true. It's so true. And I think as well, so it's because our business, well, our clients sometimes come to us assuming that they know what they want. So we sometimes have to train them to say, this is what you think you want, but this is what we know you need. And it's about serving them at whatever area it is. And I think it gets a bit confusing because there are so many things that we can do. We can, we could be a VAT specialist, or we could do payroll, or we can do just pure bookkeeping on its own, or we can do advisory services. And so somebody new in this world gets a bit overwhelmed with what it is. So I like to think, especially like what you said, Jojo, about the fact that what is it you enjoy doing? What do you enjoy doing about any of those subjects? And then what I've done with my business is that I offer everything, but I only do the advisory. I have someone that does the payroll, someone that does the VAT, someone that does the year end. So we offer a one-stop shop. And and that is something I wanted to offer, because I felt that if there was too many people involved, it would get a bit watered down. I wanted to be in charge of the whole process. It doesn't mean I have to do all of the work. And that's something else that we need to learn, that we can outsource some things.
That's such a good point. Even just simplifying who does what within your team. That's incredibly helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's outsourcing. When you outsource, that makes your life simple. And I think when you, like, for me, I think business is easy. It's life that's what's hard. So if you can outsource things that makes it enjoyable to be in your business, that makes life easy, then you can, and then you just focus on the things that you love and you enjoy in your business, then the rest just kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, and I always say the first thing you should outsource is cleaning.
Yeah, cleaning, definitely. If I could outsource any kind of like house stuff, like the cleaning, but also I think the cooking needs to go next, because that's something I don't enjoy.
So if our bookkeepers need to get, I suppose, simplify in their businesses, or take more control, or feel, I really think that simplifying can help you feel like you've got more control over business. What are your tips for people if they want to approach this? Like, where do you start? Because I know that I remember when I started my bookkeeping practice, I had all sorts of different software. I wasn't really sure what I should be focusing on. I felt like I needed lots of things that people were talking about in the sort of bookkeeping community, different bits of software, different apps, different tech. And and all sorts of different marketing strategies. I didn't really know. I was just all over the place trying to work out and find my way. So if you were speaking to a bookkeeper now who was in that kind of position, starting their journey, or who has been going for a little while and perhaps has started to build up these different systems that aren't really working for them, how can you help them? What would you suggest to them?
Okay, so the first thing I'd probably get them to do, and it's a little bit like off track for the question, but I think it's really important, is to do a personality test and to get to know themselves and create some self-awareness, because sometimes we're always trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. So it's when you understand yourself, you can understand, why you are the way you are. It might not even be that you've got these complicated systems in place. It might be that it's just not something that you enjoy and you're good at. So if you're someone who isn't very detailed orientated and you're really struggling with that part, then that's somewhere that you need to kind of bring in help. So for me, I understand with my personality, I'm great at starting things, but I'm not great at finishing things. So I need to be mindful of that. So what I then do is I look at maybe some projects that I've started that I haven't completed, or I need to just tie up some loose ends. And then that just brings a lot more focus to the actions that I need to take, because I know that's a personality trait that I have. So a great personality test that they can do is the Myers-Briggs one. I'm obsessed with it because it's just so me. So I'm an INTJ. But if they go to 16personalities.com, then they can do that, and then they can learn about themselves, what they're good at, what they're not good at. So then that will help them with the outsourcing. And then I would get them to just do it like a massive brain dump, get everything down that has been perhaps weighing on their mind, that they feel like is in their business, that needs that needs becoming better, so they can work on certain areas that they feel like are falling short, and then they can make a list of things to do to improve each of those areas and just tackle it one thing at a time. I think sometimes we feel like the only reason why it feels complicated is because we're looking at like it as a whole. But if you break it down into the little steps, well, actually, right, today I'm just going to focus on that one little thing. Doing that one little thing today is actually going to move the needle forward quite a lot, and that's like that next best step is going to be better than focusing on like everything in one tin. So brain dumping and then writing out that to-do list and just tackling that one thing at a time. I'm always doing that. Like I literally brain dump my to-do list, and I don't look at that big list as something I need to get done in a day. I'm like, right, okay, what one thing can I do today to like move the needle forward? And then just looking at the systems that they've got in place, and just having those honest conversations with themselves and asking themselves, like, have I got this in place because I need it, or is it because I think I need it and someone's told me that I should have it, when actually if I was to do it a different way it would be completely different? Because I think we can get so influenced by what other people are doing and what other people have in place, we feel like we should have it, when in actual fact it's just not serving us. So those are the 3 things I'd probably say that they should start off with, and then just like having that permission to just create the business that feels good for them and that they want, rather than a blueprint that someone else has given them.
That's so interesting. Someone's actually just said great advice, and that they love the personality test too, because it reminds you why you act in certain ways. And I'm actually thinking that now that I've got a team, that might be a really good thing for me to know a bit more about my staff, because I do realise that, and because we're family members as well, that I do have to approach different people in different ways, and that they might not hear what I'm saying in the way that I'm saying it because of how they accept information. So I think that's going to be a little project for me. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I get everybody that comes into like 3 meters of me to like take the test, because I want to understand them, because I just find it so fascinating. But for me it was just a massive eye-opener, because I'm an introvert, and I thought I was an extrovert, and when I show up on social media people would think I'm an extrovert, but I absorb people's energy and it drains me so much. So I would put on an event. So the event that you came to, Joe, after that event, like I was wiped out for 2 weeks, because not only was it, it's hard work to put an event together, but when people, want to speak to you and like, you're serving and you're giving yourself to people, it really does drain you. So now social events, I know that I have to really take that into consideration afterwards. And even when I'm taking calls and I'm speaking to people throughout the day, like I'm wiped out afterwards. So it's good for me to manage my energy.
And that's so interesting. I thought setting up, because I'm the same as you, I think it's about being a bit of an empath. You kind of I take on people's energy, especially where I've been dealing with a lot of business owners that are struggling at the moment with COVID. If they come on a call and if they have a cry, it affects me. And I thought Zoom would kind of protect me from that, but it really doesn't. It doesn't matter where they are in the country either. I can still feel that. Some people are saying that they love the brain dump and have started writing a weekly list, but need to brain dump will help clear my brain to-do list. Oh, okay. So they've got a brain to-do list. Yes, I understand. Yes. Yes, Joe, me and my husband did a few years ago, and it even helps our relationship.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, and this is all interlinked, these business, personal life, relationships, it really is. And, when you've got the other stuff right, the relationships in your personal life and business, like I said, is easy.
And for me, my husband and my son work in my business, as does my sister. So my life and my business are extremely intertwined. So it's very good to understand how I'm communicating with them, because if I really wind them all up, then I'm not going to have a weekend either. So I need to be careful.
Yeah. And that goes back to, because I was thinking this when you were saying about being an empath and speaking to people on Zoom and things. Like even if I just get a message from someone, a text message, it can affect me, because you can just feel the mood. Like I don't like this. It gets even deeper. But that's where you have to set yourself really strong boundaries, like personal boundaries, business boundaries. So you are protecting yourself, and you are almost like seeing yourself not just as a bookkeeper, but seeing yourself as a CEO, and really stepping into that and creating the business around those boundaries as well.
I think we're going to have loads of people going off to do personality profiling in a minute. I did Myers-Briggs I was probably about 20, so it was a really long time ago, and I reckon I'm probably I don't know what my result was then, but I'm sure I'm very different now. But something I've quite enjoyed doing with people I've been working with is something called Strengthsfinder. And you can then find out which areas you're really good at, we were talking about delegation. And if you know what you're really good at and you want to focus on being really good, like why be average at the stuff you're not very good at by trying to raise the bar there? Actually, if you try and raise the bar at things you're already really good at, you're going to be exceptional at those things. So if there's some stuff there that you're not very good at, you can identify it and then delegate that stuff. So I really like that, but I'm going to go and look this up.
I'm going to do the strengths one too, because I had a call just before this interview and with a client, and she had just done the Strengthsfinder test herself. So this has come up twice to me in the past couple of hours. So it means that I need to go and do it.
You need to do it.
I'll probably do it and I'll realise that I've done it before because I'm obsessed with these things. But I can't remember what mine was with the Strengthsfinder. But something else that I would say as well is I actually wrote this on my Instagram just before this call as well, is when you are overthinking, write, and when you are underthinking, read. So if you have loads going on in your head, just brain dump, journal, write it all down. But when you feel like your head's empty and you need to create some kind of content or marketing, go and read, go and feed your mind with something positive or useful, and you'll feel inspired, and then it will feel like it'll just kind of flow out with your content, or with whatever it is that you're working on.
Brilliant advice. I think that, yeah, definitely. And
so
also
simple.
It helps to make those like connections as well. My husband's a creative and we go for a walk in the morning, and we were talking about a pitch something he was working on, and he was able to connect these crazy things together because he just reads really well and he just has lots of ideas. So you're right, it just fills your mind with stuff that you can work with.
Always. And to the point where sometimes I'm reading a book and I'm like, I need to stop because I've got too many ideas and I've got too many things that I want to say, and I need to like kind of stagger this out. So yeah, but I found that when I read it, I can't remember where I read it. I don't know if it was just like a quote that I came across, but it was like that light bulb moment for me, like, oh my gosh, yes, when I do read or listen to a podcast or watch something, I'm always inspired. So yeah.
And that's the thing, we're allowed to be inspired by something and then write about it on social media. You don't have to come up with I think people assume everything has to be a brand new thing that you've thought up yourself, or else it's plagiarism. And it's like, no, that is not the point of it. You're meant to go because whatever you're reading or consuming is something different to someone else. And actually, you might have read it at a time where it didn't resonate with you, but today it resonates with you. So someone else needs to hear it today. So don't feel bad. As long as you say, you're like me, I'll be like, I read it somewhere and I can't remember where, and it was really good. But as long as you say, I came across this or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're allowed to share it. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to pretend you wrote it. You don't have to do that.
No, there's nothing new under the sun. And I'm actually doing exactly what you just said. Like I listened to a podcast once, and this lady was on there, and I don't know if she'd wrote a book or whatever. This was years ago. I listened to it, but it stuck with me. That she said, we're all just a remix. Like we're all just a remix of like little bits of information or inspiration or things we've read or watched, or even sometimes subconsciously as just like seen on a billboard or something that might inspire us. And we're just a remix of all of these different things. And as long as you like reference it when or just say, or even just like, sometimes you can't own a bit of it because it's just your perception of it, which is going to be unique to everybody else. I've just recorded a whole training referencing a page that I read in a book last year, and it's pretty much all based on that. And I put the book in it. I said, look, this is where it's come from. This is my take on it though. So, I think you can do it.
Thanks, JoJo. I think this has been so helpful for people who are feeling overwhelmed. I think it's an overwhelming time, and when people are building a business as well, it can feel like there's just so much going on. And I think we'll probably all take things from today. We're all going to be going personality testing ourselves, but also I think that's really given people some ideas about like not feeling like don't feel like you have to do the same thing everyone is doing or using the same software everyone is using, because you know all these things take time to set up. If it's not broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. But also, you know, about brain dumping, getting those ideas out, delegating, just creating some order and working out what's actually going to help me hit my goals, and what one thing can I do right now to work towards that. But that's really helpful. JoJo, would you like to tell people a bit more about how they can connect with you and how they can find out more about what you do?
Yeah, no, definitely. They can follow me on social media. I've just had last week I had my Instagram deactivated. I've actually got it back now, like a week later, but I started a new one. So I'm committed to the new one. I lost 4,500 followers, but I got like 750 within like 5 days on my new one. So I'm like, do you know what? This is my chance to build a brand new engaged audience. So if they want to go find me on Instagram, it's I am JoJo Graham, or they can find me on Facebook at JoJo Graham. Or they can go to my website, which is www.jojograham.com. So all really simple. It's my name.
Oh, thank you, JoJo. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and I'm sure we're going to have to. Well, we do have you back.
Yeah, I think it's next month, isn't it? Yeah.
End of March. So yeah, we will have you back again, because I'm sure everybody's loved listening to you, and I'm sure you're going to become a friend of our group. And thank you so much. So yeah, everyone go and follow JoJo. She is great, so inspirational, and it's just so much fun to follow, because you really do tell a great story, and keep it simple, and that's why I like following you. You don't overcomplicate anything, so it's great.
Oh, brilliant. That's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you. And I think Jo just gave a really good intro to what's happening at the end of March for bookkeepers in our community. So from the 22nd of March till the end of the month, we're going to be running our Bookkeepers Bootcamp. It's our quarterly event. We'll give you loads of motivation and inspiration if you are launching, growing your practice. And we've got loads of lovely guests lined up who we haven't announced the lineup yet. Actually, we'll be doing that really soon, but JoJo is going to be joining us. So go and find out about that. You can register at sixfigurebookkeeper.com/bootcamp. It's a free event. By signing up, you just get the emails to make sure you know all about the lineup and when things are happening. So go and do that, and we will see you next week for another podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.